Now, speaking of ass, I'm going to uh, take us down the deep, dark colon of the interwebs right now to a place that is the Craigslist of the butt knuckle of the internet, ladies and gentlemen. Um, it's it's Chanel Rion and the Mess de Souza on the Orange Anus Network. Is anti-Semitism rising on the right? Um, I'm guessing this has everything to do with Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes, and that workaround. Although they seem to be at each other's throats all the time. So whatever. This is the show Fine Point with Chanel Leon. Let's see. Let's answer that question because it's very important.
We are accustomed to a certain disguised anti-Semitism coming from the left.
Disguised anti-Semitism.
And the attacks on Israel and Jewish influence in American politics, the claim that Israel is a colonizer, and also charges of genocide. That is the standard fare of the left and of the Democratic Party, particularly today's Democratic Party. But the attack from the right is new, and that is something.
Yes, it's very sharp.
Of a surprise.
But yes, it's shiny.
And it's reached, I think, a disturbing pitch. So I do think it needs to be engaged directly. I've been
and you're the dude to do it.
A little reluctant myself to do that.
Oh, right, because you're yet another in the never-ending march of dweebs that are the voice of the right. What the fuck? Seriously, do you know how much shit I catch being liberal and being, having played on Queer as Folk, for example, and those kind of things, and this idea that somehow, like, Bob Seska and I are somehow soy boys, and yet Ben Shapiro and Nick Fuentes and the Mess de Souza and all these, like, fucking empty balloons on the right with their squeaky little voices are somehow indicative of this, like, massive alpha male takeover, and finally we're going to recruit because men are being marginalized. Fucking hell.
Because a lot of these figures have been close to me over the years. I've spoken at a number of Candace Owens' events.
There you go. Yeah. There we go. All right.
Last year, Tucker Carlson and I did a tour together, speaking in a number of Australian cities. Of course, this topic never came up.
Well, of course not.
Right.
Was involved quite early with the congressional campaign of Marjorie Taylor Greene. So it is with some discomfort and a lot of dismay that I see.
Yeah, it's weird that Democrats are largely, by and large, focused on Israel and Netanyahu being the problem in this, the Israeli government, the Likud party specifically within the hardliners, and not Jews. That there's not this big attack on Jews from our side. It tend to be, this kind of like overemphasis, I would argue, on Zionism, being that, some people think that Zionism is simply the existence of the Israeli state, and others are Zionism is the Israeli state must exist as a Jewish-only state, right? That would be the distinction. And since there doesn't seem to be much of a distinction, you can have this overlap of people who consider themselves a Zionist or don't like Zionists, but they believe basically the same circumstance of what's going on in Israel in terms of especially how Netanyahu is a war criminal. But not necessarily comfortably just going Jews. Whereas with Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes and everybody, it's almost as if what's going on in Israel, specifically with Netanyahu and what's happening in Gaza, is more of an excuse to just let their freak flag fly when it comes to hating Jews. Just straight up Jew hating. Like, that's what they're doing.
Where these kind of new Pied Pipers are leading a lot of kind of confused and angry young people.
Yes, dopey, melon-headed morons. Normally your audience, right? So they're poaching audience from you. That's why you're upset. I see.
Who are seeing their prospects in America not so good.
So Geez, what kind of an awful person would come along and suggest that they blame someone outside the country for their own problems and get them to vote for the same dipshits over and over again to trick them into thinking that that their xenophobia is actually based on some sort of realism.
And so the scapegoating of the Jews, in a way, Israel's to blame, Mossad is behind all this, is a kind of tempting falsehood.
It is. It's exciting, you know.
And that's why I think it's so important someone like you talk about it, because
Yes, because if anybody's going to be able to move especially the racists, it's going to be this dweeby Indian guy who sucks up to Trump all the time, whose, by the way, son-in-law is Jewish and is going to be overseeing the rebuilding of places in Gaza so that these guys can have control over this.
these people, these figures. And so my question to you
is how fast do they hang up on you?
where do you think this is coming from? Because my sense, Dinesh, and I don't know if you feel the same way,
Probably does. Probably. I don't even know what she's going to say, but probably.
this whole anti-Israel, anti-Bibi Netanyahu, anti-Semitic language that you're seeing on
Yeah, I just think that's maybe grouping all those things together is your problem here because you're not parsing out. All right, never mind. You're right. It's all of them.
X in particular, and in very prominent conservative circles, it just seems to have exploded in strength and force and breadth in a way that I did not expect to see.
Yeah, I feel almost obliged to step into this debate, also because,
Yeah, go get him, the mess.
when Mark Levin says it or Josh Hammer says it, people go, well, yeah, that's the Jews, defending themselves. I'm not Jewish. As you know, I've made 8 documentary films. None of them have been about Israel. They've all been about the meaning of America. I'm squarely America first. And even though these days people are like, well, Dinesh, how much?
Oh, by the way, real quick, and this will be a good. Wait, hold on. I want to see what he was going to say there, real quick.
Is like Netanyahu paying you. I've given hundreds of thousands of dollars to support biblical archaeology in Jerusalem. So my point is, listen, I'm not on Israel's payroll. Like, they're on my payroll, to be honest. If you
Let me show you real quick what he's referring to, more so than Candace Owens. And again, the reason I show you guys this, the reason I bring this up to you, is because I want you to know. Yeah, here you go. Hold on. This is
Egypt and Syria.
Let's go back up here. Is because there is this illusion that the right has got it together and Democrats are falling apart, and the Democrats aren't fighting or aren't doing anything right. And everybody on the right is somehow like, Trump asks for something, he gets it. His followers will do anything he says. There's not even going to be elections next year because they're all jumping in behind him. Okay. Sean Hannity calls Mark Levin the great one. Donald Trump has reposted Mark Levin a couple of times recently. Mr. Producer. And the biggest rising voice on the right now is this Nick Fuentes dude. And
I saw this clip the other day from Josh Hammer and Mark Levin.
Okay, this is why the mess was just referencing this part of it, because it's not just Candace Owens.
Fuck these people.
There you go. So again, it's a well-oiled machine over there on the right.
Like, deeply, seriously, all real Americans, if you are a real American, if you were born in this country, I don't even care who you are, what you are. If you are a real American that loves this country, you have generations in this country, your family or you fought for this flag, fought for the Constitution, fought for our church, fought for our civilization. For all of you, I say about Josh Hammer and Mark Levin and Laura Loomer, fuck them. Fuck them.
I'm out of popcorn. I don't have any popcorn. Right? Right. Fuck them for making me agree with this dick. Right. Well, that's the thing, is that you don't have to. You don't have to participate in Yeah, he's a Christian nationalist in his mind. So he's Catholic. So he views it as this nationally. Like he'll overlay those two. But don't put too much seriousness into that, because again, there is no reason to get invested in these assholes chewing each other's necks. It's just fucking funny, right? The idea that you get like swept up by these dickheads is hilarious.